And we're back.
Yeah, we are.
That's amazing. You ever do any textured wall stuff?
No, well, when I was in school, we were just given kind of like a basic rundown. This is how you do it. Get a half 4x4 sheet of drywall to kind of like go at it. And we did some jewel stone too, which was
Okay.
really cool to do. And you could like make your own designs and brickwork. And then we got to work with the coloring too.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't specifically done it. I am very interested in it though. And I've seen you recently, you were
Yeah.
just up to something, right?
Yeah. CSR, they just redid their lunchroom
Okay.
when things got slow, and then it picked back up again.
Of course.
So they've kind of had this like 90% done. Just all the tie-ins and stuff were ugly.
Yeah.
And they were like, will you come and kind of finish the patches? And I thought it was like a patch, because that's what he said.
Yeah.
And then I went in there, I walked into the lunchroom, and the whole thing needs to be redone. And I'm like looking around for like a patch.
Yeah.
And what I said prior to going to take a look at it was, if it's just a patch, why don't I do fresco?
Hmm.
Which is like what's behind me. It's colored mud. It's texture. It gives you like
Yeah.
a lot of depth and stuff. And I kind of figured, like, if it's a wall with a patch on it, I'll be just as many times to go back to do fresco that I would
Yes.
doing a
Yeah.
fucking patch, and then they're gonna have to paint it. Yeah, well, it turned into like 1,300 square feet of it.
Yeah. It did look like a big project, but
It,
it came out pretty cool.
oh man, it turned out so
Yeah.
awesome. So Brad has that big CSR on the back of
Hmm.
his wall,
Yeah.
in his office, and then there's also one on one of the sea cans in the back.
Okay.
And so he has an overhead projector, like when no, I almost said when we were in school, but I mean like a long time before that, when I was in
Yeah.
school, there was like overhead projectors, and that's exactly what it was. So it took like
Oh,
2 hours to
yeah.
tape it off,
Hmm.
but it turned out perfect. It
Yeah,
turned out
that's
so
super
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah, I was following you along there and I was interested. But yeah, I haven't done anything myself, but I'm super interested in how it looks. And even just if you see like a lot of people on TikTok now are making all their like canvas work with
Yeah.
mud now, and they're just it's amazing what they're doing out there.
Well, so what, sorry, you said jewel something. What is
Oh,
that?
jewel stone. So kind of like say for a patio.
Hmm.
So you would basically lay down it's almost like cement. Say let's just call it cement.
Sure.
Lay it down, but underneath it we used this he called it tape, but it has a thick wire through it. So you could
Okay.
kind of lay down and make like the perfect like triangle designs or stone designs that you would want. And then once it dried, you gave it about 10 minutes, it set, and then you could peel the tape off and it would
No
leave
way.
the certain like little rock formations. And then from that point, you could like get a little bit of the dusty red color and add some of that rust on, add a little gray into it. So
Yeah,
like I said, it was just like the basics that he showed us on a little piece of drywall. But just knowing that, like you
it's
could
pretty
do
wild.
you could do an accent wall in your house. You could do more than that. But because I know a lot of people are on like the color blocking accent wall
Hmm.
sort of thing right now. So that would be super easy to do. It's just would have to you got to take on the job, I guess. It's
Oh,
always
totally.
it seems harder to do when you think about it. Then once you start going, you're like, I could have done this the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like your ass puckers up when you get halfway into
Yeah.
something and you're just like, holy shit.
I'm doing this. Ah.
It,
Yeah.
it's working. Yeah.
Oh no. Who would have thought, right?
Yeah. So I did this wall behind me. We did a couple of them. And then when I was like absolutely confident walking into CSR,
Yeah.
and you start getting it on the wall. I got it on 3 walls kind of thing. And then you looked around and it's just like, okay, like, I hope this works.
Yeah, I'm
And like,
going
cause
for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know it's
I
gonna, but
know.
it's like, you kind of do anyways.
Yeah, that's so
When
true.
we went out west and did some fresco work at
Hmm.
Aaron's place,
Okay,
and
yeah.
or sorry, Aaron's parents' place, and it turned out great. Watching Nick actually do some board feet,
Yeah.
and actually watching Cam do some board feet,
Hmm.
it was very different than like making samples, because
Yes.
like when you're kind of pulling the mud and you're
Hmm.
going to do like a full pull with it, you can't, there's not even enough room on a 4x4 sheet
Yeah.
to do that. So it is really interesting to do.
Hmm.
um I follow Exotic, I think, exotic
Okay.
walls, and
Yep.
he's Venetian plaster.
Okay.
But then some of like the subsets of the people that he's, um, I don't even know if they are incorporated with each other, but that's the rabbit hole where I found it. And
Yeah.
it looks like gold and copper veining through like stone.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And they're coming back a couple of times with like different gridded.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that look.
Yeah. It's so cool what you can do with like paint or the different like colored muds, like you're saying, the fresco stuff, because
Yeah.
you'd never guess that it wasn't marble on the actual wall or like a real slab of marble up there.
Yeah, some of the stuff they're doing with the plastic. So with
Mhm.
Venetian, you can buff it up, and then it looks like a stone, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like it's reflective or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're coming back in and they're painting on it,
Oh,
and some of that stuff, just like what you're saying, it looks like a 20-foot piece of
I
marble,
know.
and you're like, this
You'd
is
never
nuts.
know. Yeah. And it's all just artwork. It's crazy. So
Yeah,
talented.
I did. So I like jumped off the D. So Nick Harmon invented Fresco Harmony.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I like loved being artistic with it.
Mhm.
And I would get these messages, man, that looks really good. I sure would like you to use it the way it's supposed to be used, though, right?
And you're like, oh,
It,
cool.
so I was like almost against it until I did
Yeah.
it out west. And I'm like, this thing looks great. And he's like,
Hmm.
yeah, when you do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Follow the
Oh my
instructions.
God. I'm like, I don't like doing that. But I didn't realize how artistic I was with
Yeah.
like just some of the shit where I'm like, oh no, we'll just kind of do this. And
Right?
it's
It's
yeah,
nice
they
to
like
discover new things about yourself. That's
I
cool.
really enjoyed it. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And now you're
Yeah.
just looking at another wall like, what can I do there,
Oh yeah.
eh?
Yeah, I'm like looking up at my ceiling and stuff now. It's like tattoos. Do you have any
Yeah.
tattoos?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
okay. Yeah.
Addicting.
I I tell myself 6 months, right? So I'll go sit down in a chair and be like, I love this. Why am I not doing this all the time?
Yeah.
And you'll like look at your new ink and you're like, yeah, this is something like I want a lion. I want all this like crazy shit. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, and if in 6 months you want this,
Yeah.
and then
You're
I
still
never I
thinking
never
about
do.
it.
Yeah, I never do.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still
Sorry,
so
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no.
I my parents always I feel like were more on like the strict side, but for
Yeah.
some reason I was allowed to get a tattoo when I was 16. So I like had my mindset from a kid of what I was gonna get and still no regrets, but it was just like hilarious because it seemed like such, especially then too, like such an extreme thing. There's so much more accepted now, right? And everything where before you had to cover it up or wear long sleeves and this and that, where now I'm like, if you can see there, like one of my
Oh yeah.
favorites is my little lacrosse stick on there, and
Yep.
it's like front and center. I can show it off to everyone. Where I love that the culture has kind of changed that way. But yeah, I get what you mean about addicting. It's
Oh
like
my God.
it's a good thing they are so expensive, honestly, because I
Yes.
might have both my arms covered. Who knows?
Well, and I have friends that are covered in shitty tattoos.
Yeah, that too. So it holds
Right?
you back from the shitty ones.
Yeah. Actually, so I'm working with Nathan's Drywall right now, and he is covered. But
Oh yeah.
I think it was like his buddy or somebody that owned the tattoo shop, but
Mhm.
he's got excellent tattoos, and he's
Okay.
like covered in them. One of his legs like a Star Wars thing, and like
Oh sweet.
yeah, his like neck and his head. It's crazy.
Cool. Yeah.
But
I do love them. Yeah.
yeah, I would totally get sucked into that. I started doing like I got like a little you can't even see it. It's like a
Oh yeah.
mountain, right?
Yep. The landscape there. I can see a little wave on the end. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I'm doing adventures, that's what I'm doing now. Instead of like taking a trinket, I'll get like a small tattoo.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's like it like lets you dabble.
Yeah. And it like I can see it has a real like meaning behind it rather than
Exactly.
like you said, some little trinket, which is nice, but it might just sit on a shelf and you don't ever really think about it again.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
you see it when you're cleaning and you're like, man,
Yeah. Oh, I gotta dust that.
I'm gonna throw this thing out. Yeah.
Yeah. Donation bin.
That's that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, are you listening to many podcasts?
Yeah, actually I didn't really get onto podcasts until honestly until I started taping. And then I
Okay,
was like,
yeah.
I'm a huge musical fan, like we were talking about before, but I realized if I can put on like a 2-3 hour podcast, like
Mm-hmm.
half my day seems like it's gone already. So I listen to a variety of them, a lot of like just like funny barstool ones too, about like
Yep.
people just talking about their party stuff and this and that, because it's easy to just have people talk in
Yeah.
your ear and tell funny stories. I do here there. I don't know, I feel like you're a pretty like comedic guy.
Oh yeah.
Theo Vaughn.
Yes.
Theo
This
Vaughn.
past weekend.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, he's so funny. I'm going to a show actually in end of August. So I can't wait to go see him like live in person.
So he has to be putting on a front with some of that,
Right? I
right?
can't believe it.
That is, he's got this one joke that it's just like a one liner, but he's like my brother or cousin got bit by a gay guy, and then he kind of like waits, and you can like see him thinking really hard about it, and he goes,
Yeah.
guess we'll see, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
But people go ballistic because he's just like, he comes across as this like really uneducated, right?
Right?
But I
I
don't think
know.
he is, because sometimes, like he said, Neil deGrasse Tyson on the
Yeah.
podcast, so like you
Yeah, I've
can't
listened to
be
all of
that
those.
stupid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know. And he's a pretty like, obviously like you said, he's cracking jokes and who
Oh
knows if
yeah.
that story's real or not, but like if you listen to certain other guests he gets on there, he gets actually pretty deep and like
Yeah.
introspective and like wants to have those deep talks and talks about like, I think it's also really nice to see like as like a male who's in the public eye, like speaking about his feelings
Yeah.
and I felt depressed, or because he's been clean for however long now, like speaking about addiction. So it's nice
Yes.
that, because sometimes it's, you do have to butter it up with like laughter and funny and haha, but like at least he can still get over or get across that he's like thoughtful, and at least that's the way I see him. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem like just
totally.
right, doesn't seem like just a dummy comedian or anything like that. It seems like he's thinking about more than just that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like when someone's hit rock bottom, it becomes very easy to be honest.
Yeah,
And so you kind of get that out of
for sure.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he had Hulk Hogan on
Yes.
like 2 weeks ago or whatever. And like,
Recently.
man, when I was young, I had like Hulk Hogan underwear on my head watching it. Like
You're like,
I
there
was out of control. Yeah, I was
he
out
is.
of control. So
Amazing.
like to listen to him now as like an old dude, it's so cool to like be able to sit in the room with them.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really enjoy podcasts. It's I'll do Rogan, I do Theo Vaughn's, I do kind of that whole crowd actually, the two
Yep.
bears. Um,
Oh my God. Yeah.
yeah,
Tom and Bert. So I love them.
it hurts a lot, man. It's
Yeah. You know, his little squeal.
it's yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know
That's
how that guy's still standing, but somehow he is.
and yeah, I like how honest he is too, where it's like, I'm going to do all this healthy stuff because I'm going to continue to be a raging alcoholic, and
Yeah.
everyone's
You
like,
know what?
why
At
not?
least you're honest.
Yeah,
And he's trying in some ways, so you know it's good.
yeah,
As long as you're honest about what you're doing, then who really cares what you are doing, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson had this like excellent thing that I shared, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. And that's basically what he said. It was like, when you're doing things with honesty, the things that come from that are real.
Yes.
And when you honestly fail at something, it's not a big deal, right? Because
Yeah.
you weren't faking it and fell on your ass. You were trying your best and just get back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And people, I think they can really see that even if they don't agree with what you're doing, if you're honest about it instead of hiding it, they're like,
Yeah.
you know what? At least if you believe in it, then I'm okay with it. If you're hiding it or something, you know what? It just seems like, I don't know, not as respectful or whatever, depending what it is. But yeah, honesty is the way to go for sure.
Totally. That
Yeah.
like peacefulness you were talking about when you're like just taping and there's a
Yeah.
podcast in, I feel like anything that takes your full like mental resources, like you have to
Yep.
pay attention doing it.
Hmm.
It's very quiet, right? It's
Yes.
very peaceful.
Yeah.
um yeah,
I
I kind of
enjoy it.
yeah, I kind of jumped on this doing difficult things, and like the more progressively difficult things got, I
Hmm.
thought would be more miserable.
Yep.
In the moment, it's always this like wonderful peaceful feeling, but
Yeah.
then you're exhausted and you're overworked and all these other silly
For
things. But
sure. Yeah. That all
yeah,
comes with it.
yeah, right, it's
Mhm.
yeah, focus. Anything that
Yeah.
takes your full focus is great, and I feel like taping is one of those things.
Right. Yeah. It's distracting sometimes too.
Hmm.
So that's like, even though you're at work, like you said, and you come home and you're tired, but you're at work and you can kind of be at peace, or yeah, throw in a podcast or calming music, whatever it is. And you kind
Hmm.
of like we all seem to work in teams, but then it is a very individual trade as well. Cause once you're on the wall, it's kind of just you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely take those moments, and it is nice to be peaceful. And as long as I'm not going around too many pipes, then we're
Oh
good.
my God. Penetrations. Yeah.
Oh, pipe work is too much.
So when I started doing drywall stuff, we would have guys come in and like do stand-ups until the last 4 feet,
Oh yeah.
and they would be piece workers. So they would just board everything and leave you all the shitty work to do.
Oh
So
yeah.
like around all the wind bracing and all the penetrations, and
Hmm.
we never had to do I should say never, but like fire caulking and that kind
Yeah.
of crap. There was always like third party people that came in, because
Okay.
that's even more miserable if you're, because
Yeah.
like when you're covered in mud at the end of the day, you wash your clothes and it's fine, or like you wash your skin and it's fine. When you're
Hmm.
covered in fire caulk, it's like
It's
your hair and
yeah.
skin are coming with it. Like
Yeah. It's not coming off at all.
everything's ruined. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You have that one set of clothes for that day that you're doing it on, and that's it.
This is absolutely not how I operated when I was younger. So
No,
my
not at
girlfriend at the
all.
time was like, why? Like, keep these ones in your car. Like,
Yeah.
why? They're dirty. I don't
I
want
need a
them.
new shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Did you do any gaming or anything like that?
No, not too much. I think I used to rip some Call of Duty back in college,
There
just
we go.
late night. Yeah, for sure. I do enjoy video games. I feel like I'd be the classic, and a lot of girls are like, I love Mario Party and all that.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the classics. But
100%.
me and my husband, we got a Switch
Yep.
years ago when it first came out, and we got the Zelda game, and let me tell you, that thing took over my life. I
Yeah.
was like, I would be like late going to work. I'm like sitting on the couch, like gaming. I look up, I'm like, I have 5 minutes more and just go
Yeah.
back to it. But I'd say that was my more recent one. And then we got, what was it? The Switch Sports. And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just like Wii Sports, reliving your like childhood all over again. So that's a lot of fun too. Yeah. But so yeah, more the basic games, but I do enjoy it. Yeah.
So I dodged that Zelda on purpose, right?
You knew you'd be into it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've beaten I think all of the other ones, and like some of
Oh
them
yeah.
multiple times. Yeah, and
Maybe
so
one day you should then. It's really good.
oh, I'm definitely going to. I got really sick when I came back from BC,
Okay.
and I was like, man, like I'm like bedridden. I was like,
Hmm.
I should buy a video game,
You
right?
know what would be good right
Oh
now?
yeah, yeah. Making sure I don't rest at all. That'd be great.
Yeah. Just what your
And
body needs.
yeah, right. Yeah, I've gotten much better at like not just drinking water, but like getting your electrolytes back up and like spiking vitamin C and things like that.
Yeah,
It's when you
it
get
does make a
older.
difference.
Yeah. Oh, do you do any like cold baths or any of that kind of shit?
Funny enough, I don't.
Okay.
I was trying to like, I'll like end my showers with like cold.
Yeah.
But I'm just a big baby and I hate being cold. So especially with like if winter comes, I'm not doing it. But again, my husband and his friends, they were called the polar dippers this year, and they
Awesome.
fully were dipping in Lake Ontario like twice a week, once a week. They'd go in up to their necks, and the
Yeah.
first time it was like a minute, 2 minutes, then they're doing 5 minutes, and they come out like
Yeah.
fully red. It's so I would be like watching from the car with the heater on. But he does it every single morning. He wakes up
Yeah.
at 4:30 in the morning, ice cold shower, and I
Yeah.
I know the benefits and health benefits, and it would definitely wake me up, but
It
I'm just a baby. I
yeah.
can't do it. I just don't want to. But I do know with my sports and stuff, like
Yeah.
it is nice to have an ice bath here or there for your muscles and joints and whatnot.
It's kind of why I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do know the benefits, and I try to force myself to do
Yeah.
things, but 4:30 in the morning is not when I do it.
It
Yeah.
is fucking miserable, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's the answer when people ask me why I'm doing it. It's like because
Yeah.
it's a miserable thing to do, and it's just create your own suck kind of thing. But
Yeah.
then all the good that comes from that, it's not that's not where it started, but that's why I'm continuing to do it.
Yeah.
I'm already sourcing like a horse trough for my
Oh my God.
backyard.
Yep.
I'm so big, right? Like if I sit in the tub, it's like my legs are in the tub,
Yeah. You need
right?
your own tub, okay?
Yeah. This one's for horses. No.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I'm not
Um,
saying that, but
yeah. But it is pretty big though, and it's
yeah,
rubber. And I feel like if I can leave it outside, it'll ice over in the
yeah.
morning, and then I can just kind of like
Yeah, one of our
break
friends,
in
that's
there.
exactly what he was doing, had like one of the
Oh,
big black troughs and would just smash
yeah,
it, sit in it, and do that. But we've been looking into deep freezes and repurposing them into it. So yeah, it's
totally.
definitely a thing that's on our mind. How long have you been doing the cold dips and stuff?
Hmm. I don't want to say all year.
Okay. But
But
long time though
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Months. Anyways,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
When I skip over it, I'm like, haha, right? And then I get in the car,
Yeah.
but then you really do feel that you didn't do it today.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
and something I hear a lot of people say, or like just from the videos and stuff, because it seems like it is such a trendy thing now, but it's a good trend. Like I think it's a
yeah,
great thing that has caught on. A lot of people say it's like you did something so tough, you didn't want to do it in the morning, you accomplished that, and it's like
yeah,
I can do anything today. So I'm slowly warming up to
yeah.
the point of actually wanting to do so. But yeah, who knows? Maybe after this podcast, I'll wake up tomorrow and do one now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're basically telling yourself to do something that you don't want to do, but then
Yeah.
demanding it, and
Yeah,
then
overpowering that. Hmm.
yeah, and it's miserable, and then you can tell people you do it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, then you can brag about it and like
Right.
mentally, that's good.
Um, so when we were out west, Nick and Cam and I had a place like on the water, and
Nice.
I was like, we're doing some ice baths because they all do it too. Nick
Yeah.
has like a freezer that's been
Oh, he's
converted,
got
which I
set
think
up.
is,
Okay.
yeah, he's really
Yeah.
set up. And it's like 30 degrees or something. Like it's just
Wow.
above, like you almost put yourself into shock. But then that's
Yeah.
that's the real ice baths, right? So we all kind of laughed about it. And on the second morning, we were all just kind of like quietly walking around. And I don't remember who it was, if it was Cam or if it was Nick, but one of them was like, so are we doing this or what? And then we
Yeah.
are all like, I guess so. So we
Yeah.
we like walked out into the Pacific Ocean. Uh, but the tide was out. So we like walked in knee-high water for like what felt
Oh,
like 10 minutes to go
you're like, this
sit
is
out there. Like,
freezing.
this is fucking stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost just wanted to lay down and just do it then. It was good though. It's fun, and especially if you're doing it with other people. Like if they're doing like polar plunges together,
Yeah.
that's that's it's a lot of fun. It's kind of
Right.
like
Yeah. And you can the energy off of each other, right? And it's like you saying with your boys, yeah, it's like, are we doing this? Okay, I guess we
yeah,
are. We're like, if it's just you, it's pretty easy to say no and be like, nah, I'll just do it tomorrow, or just not do it at all. So yeah,
exactly.
the team aspect is very motivating for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I got a thing in my bathroom that says it. It's red on the wall, taped on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Get in the shower. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. It's needed sometimes. So yeah, I've said, I've heard about it this past year or two, and I've from my athletic background, I'm like, I know I should be doing it. It's just you got to get
yeah.
over that hump, right?
Oh yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't need to do it. Like that's
Yeah.
the whole other part of it. Like a lot of these things that are like a little bit more trendy things.
Yeah. Well,
If you
no,
don't,
yeah, not the need, but yeah.
yeah, right. Like if you're not getting out of it what you want and it's just miserable all the time, there's no need to continue.
Yeah. Then it's not working for you. It's right. Everyone's different. So
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Are you year round doing lacrosse, or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the normal league the women's league I play with is so my rep senior women's league. We play from I believe it's like beginning of June till mid-August. It's a very short season. Basically, being Ontario too, as you know, like as soon as they can put in the ice in those arenas, we only have so much time where we have open floor to actually run without the ice. So
Right.
that's what I, for the past however many years, have been playing. And then recently, I think 2 years ago, I started playing in a Masters League out of the Durham, Oshawa area there. So me and a couple of my girlfriends play on that team. And it's us with a bunch of dudes, but like there's no contact obviously because
Oh,
it's like
well,
mixed
yeah,
league and it's Masters, but it's the caliber of like the passing and everything. Like it's
yeah,
truly made a difference for me offensively because now I go into my league. I'm a personally a defensive player. I love it. I'm all about the defense. So I've never been as comfortable to like go up and like try little certain things out. I've taken shots and scored a couple goals, but it's not really my thing. And then we're
Yeah.
playing in this other league. I'm like, oh, I can do this, and
Yeah,
like
I
getting those
bet.
harder passes and whatnot. So it's truly made a difference to like my now women's league game and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's awesome all year round, and like I wouldn't have it
That's
any other
perfect.
way. Yeah, I live for
I
it.
always wonder, yeah, because it would almost be painful if you couldn't, because right, it's just off
Yeah.
time and you can't. Yeah, so I'm happy that you
Yeah.
got, yeah, good.
Yeah, it's super nice. Yeah, once a week get to play that, and then it comes hot and heavy once the summer starts with my other actual league. But yeah, so now we just have provincials coming up August 20th weekend. That's in Cornwall, Akwesasne area.
Okay.
And yeah, that'll be the
Disgusting.
end of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's I'd say about from Toronto, where is it, like 4.5 hours from Toronto East, I think.
Okay.
So be a
Yeah,
decent drive there, but you know, tournaments, I'm sure you know from like your sports or
totally.
just things, or even just hanging out with the boys and stuff. It's always fun to get that team together and hang out. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, your tail's kind of wagging on the way out
Oh
there.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're licking your wounds on the way back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, licking my wounds for sure. There's some bruises that'll come out.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Do you get into much like specialty work when you're doing the union stuff? Like U of T, does it have like any bead work or any like really difficult kind of stuff? Or
There's been a couple, like for me, I think they were more just difficult because I was like, say, starting out. There's been a lot of like big bay windows that have curves in them.
yeah.
So doing things like that was definitely like a learning curve, literally learning curve to do. But other than that, it's not as specific. One thing though, when I was in school, when we were training, basically the IFSTC is the school I went to, and they have the drywallers there. And when they're in school, they build the huts. And then for the
Mm,
tapers, we take those, and that's what we use as our like guides and examples. So it's making use of the other thing that's already made. But so one of the drywallers, he was like elite, and he made this like flower
I was gonna ask you
on the
about it.
ceiling. And
Hmm.
I was like, we all kind of got set into our huts. And then the teachers, instructors pulled me aside. They're like, hey, we've kind of seen your skill. We think this one would be for you. How do you feel? Like, we're not going to force you to take it on if you don't want to. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, I'm like, let's
Oh,
do
yeah.
it for sure. It's not challenging me, but you know, a little competitive if you can't tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So instantly I was like, oh, 100% I'll do this. So I took that on, and like to date, that was probably my hardest thing, because I think it had like 10 big pedals, but it angled down and around, and
Yeah.
like, and the way they did it was like, instead of just kind of like cutting the drywall and letting it bend, they did it individual little slots. So I
Whoa.
had, instead of doing individual little tapes, I just did a cross just to like seal it off, because again,
Totally.
it was going to be broken down anyways. But it was quite the shit show. But to see it finish afterwards was so satisfying, and like to be, that's like one of the first things I did. So I think that
Yeah.
really set me up like confidence wise, being like, you can, if you just try or ask the questions you need, you can do anything really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got, I kind of feel like if you've got the kind of brain that understands like how things are built or how things are finished or whatever,
Yeah,
you can kind of do anything if you've seen it before or you like take the time to kind of look into it.
definitely.
It's like process, right?
Yeah,
Um especially with drywall finishers, I feel like these are people that can do things 100%. It's just the amount of time that you'll take. Like
yeah,
if even if you were woodworking or whatever, you could figure it out. It's
definitely.
just, it's the time thing. Um,
Yeah.
we were talking about walls before. There's this lady out of Japan doing epoxy art.
Okay. Yeah.
And I stumbled onto it because it kind of looks like Venetian plaster with some like the gold flaking stuff that she does
Yeah.
in it. So I like went down the rabbit hole, and it's like droplets of color that
Oh,
disperse in the
very
epoxy.
cool.
And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty wild. Have you done anything with epoxy?
No, but I am
Okay.
super interested in it. My mom and sister and my mom and sister are big time like painters and stuff like that. I've kind of
Okay.
slowly gotten into it, like abstract. And I don't know if you've heard it, a lot of them are called drop paintings right now. So
No.
basically, say if you have a cup, you fill it with different layers of different colors, and then you might add the like add a little drip of oil here or there, and then if you put it on the canvas lift, it spreads out. But because you added the certain types of oil, they create all these little cells, so like different colors pop
Oh,
through the picture.
weird.
So it's super cool to do. So we've been looking into kind of just making random ones of those and selling them off. So
Yeah,
I
totally.
know I've seen a lot of people kind of do that with epoxy. So that'll be like my next step from here, is to maybe get into that. Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
cool. Mhm.
Yeah. Like if you build your little box that it's going to go in, and then
Yep.
when it's done, you can kind of like sand it down and buff it up, and it
Right.
like epoxy looks gorgeous when it's
So
done.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done anything with it?
No.
No. Okay.
Uh,
I know. Well, you said you're getting artistic and realizing you're more there, right? So I could see
well,
that in your future.
so a couple of things I think the first thing I'm gonna do when we went to Columbia, Cam's taper head,
Yep.
it's a custom one, but we were just trying to get the right sizing of it, so it's
Okay.
garbage, and it's like a million of his thing on one thing. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
like put that in epoxy,
Cool.
just like you'd see like a trading card or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. That's super cool.
Um, and then I'm gonna build a table, like a table for the podcast. This is like an old
Sweet.
kitchen table. It kind of
Yep.
sucks.
Use what you got, right?
Oh yeah, and it works, and nobody can
Yeah.
see it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I want to get some like live edge, right? Cut it in
Oh, I
half
love
and then
it.
put it this way and do a thing through it.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm all about that. That'd be so cool.
yeah, I said
Mhm.
summer and it's now August, and there's been no
Yeah.
planning, right? So that might be a next year thing, but yeah, I want to get into it for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find there's always a project going on, right? And like we bought our house in 2020, and it's like I truly understand when people are like, there's always something to do.
Oh
And
yeah.
there is always something to do. And like you, a little project, or I'm into like making crafts or this sort of thing. So I always have a bunch of things on the go. It's
Okay,
nice
so
though.
we've got 8 minutes left.
Alrighty.
Do you have any shout outs you want to do?
Shout outs. Who can I shout out? Well, other than you, thank you very much for having me on here. It's been honestly so nice to talk to you. I feel like we've known each other forever,
Mhm.
the way we've been chatting. So this has been super nice and easygoing for sure.
It's a lot
And
of
then
fun.
I will shout out Christy Slade. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah,
I
she's
think
my
that's
girl.
where I found you.
Okay, yeah.
Because you two did like a woman's of the trades teach out, I think somewhere.
Yeah, we did it was trades in the six. So it was like a
Yes.
seminar panel for 16 plus all the way up to however old you are. You could come in. There was a few booth setups from
Hmm.
different trades and Bolt Foundation and that kind of thing. And then we all sat in a panel and they could kind of ask us questions and just explain a little bit about ourselves. So it was a little nerve-wracking for me. I've never
Yeah.
done something so like official like that, but I'm glad I just jumped at it and did it. But she's amazing. Christy's so great. We met through Instagram, and then one day she actually became rep for our union, and she was on
Yes.
site, and then I saw her on site. I'm like, this is so weird and like surreal finally meeting each other. And then we keep in touch all the time with like little volunteer events and stuff like that around town. But yeah, honestly, I would shout her out, and then I'll just shout out IFSTC, the
Hmm.
school that set me up.
Yep.
They were a huge help. Anyone who's looking to get into taping, drywalling, anything like that, I'd say go check out that site. It's one of the main reasons I think I got into taping. I was a little nervous, like everyone hopping in, but also as a female coming into the trades, it can be very intimidating. Where taping, at least through the union way and through the school, started out with 3 months of schooling. They gave you all your certificates, like I said, the basics, the foundations of what you really need to know when you're taping. And they set you up with tools, and then they set me up with a company. So it's like
Wow.
they literally did the whole thing for me, and I'm with the same company. I'm happy in my position. So yeah, if anyone has questions, just check out that website or give them a call and they'll definitely help you out. It's made my experience so much better than I think what it could have been.
I really like that places like that are around for a couple of reasons. Like it's got to be intimidating anyways because you're starting something
Yes.
new, and then
Yeah.
it's intimidating of like how do I even find the work? And like
Yeah.
are men as terrible as they say? Like
Yeah.
there has to be so many
Yeah.
reasons
Just
why
so you
you would
guys
not
know, they're
do it.
not.
They absolutely are, and she's lying to you. Maybe not in
Maybe
the
some of
union.
them, I won't give
Yeah.
you guys all credit, but yeah. That's
Um,
funny.
yeah, so that's great. I like that you
Yeah.
did that. Where are you on social media? Just are you on Instagram or everything?
Yeah, so right now I'm on Instagram and TikTok right now as Transcend Taping,
Yep.
spelled just exactly how it sounds. And that's about, yeah, just those two things. I think I started on TikTok a year ago, and then Instagram I started just this past January. So it's
Awesome.
been great so far and just nice to like showcase my work. And like I
Totally.
said, it's so satisfying to watch other tapers and then to provide satisfaction for other people if they want to
Yeah.
watch my videos too or learn a thing or two is super cool to be able to do.
Yeah, and like promoting the things that you're getting into, like union wise and like the
Yeah.
leadership thing, like that. There's a lot of people that would just never hear about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it really is great for that too. Well, that's awesome. Thanks
Mhm.
so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Um,
Honestly, thank you. I had a wonderful time. This was such a nice chat.
yeah, you're more than
Yeah.
welcome to come back whenever you
Oh, for
want.
sure.
It's
Holler at me.
awesome.
Yeah.
And have you listened to the Drywall podcast?
No, I haven't. I've listened
Okay.
to a few of your episodes, but I haven't listened to him yet.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I'll have to after this.
Nick's is pretty good. It's a lot more like professional than this one,
Yeah. But that's
but
okay. We all need a little professional
oh,
sometime,
totally.
right?
Yeah, I'm the
Yeah.
trash younger brothers of his podcast, is what I've said a few times.
Yo, yeah. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what? It's fun though. It's
I love
enjoyable,
it.
so it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you had fun doing this, you'd have fun doing that for sure.
Unreal.
It's
Yeah, maybe I'll reach out or something. I'll definitely check his podcast out though.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, be humble, treat everyone the same, and do your fucking job.